of the bill so that we keep it fair. Chair recognizes to speak to the bill Representative Casas. Representative Casas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I rarely come to the well, as you know, to speak on someone else's bill, but felt compelled in this instance. I'll let others speak specifically on the provisions of this bill, but I want to address just some things about it that I think will be of benefit as you make a decision. See, I understand this issue from many different perspectives. Uniquely as that. Unique in the fact that I am a first-generation immigrant. My parents and I are indebted to the Nixon administration and to our Congress, who opened the doors to Cuban refugees who escaped the island of Cuba and were able to come to the United States. And we did so in 1974 when I was 2 years old, and we came straight to Atlanta. So I'm not just a son of an immigrant, I am an immigrant. But I'm also unique in the fact that most of you probably have to answer the AJC or have to answer other media outlets. But for the last 8 weeks, I've been chased by Mundo Hispanico, Univision, and CNN in Espanol because they want a quote, and I haven't spoken to them. So if they're watching, this is the quote, and you're about to get it. I'm also unique in my experience in the fact that I was a target of mistrust in my past primary. Not because of my solid conservative record, but because of my last name. To where my volunteers had doors slammed by my constituents in my party who said, I'm not voting for someone that wasn't born here. So I understand the issues. Neither side can tell me I don't. I was here for the debates of 529, and I casted my support and my vote, and I'm here to tell you that House Bill 87 is a good bill. It is something that has been needed, and it's something that we have to do. And I commend Representative Ramsey for his work and the open process that we've had throughout this time. We are finally addressing identity theft, which I felt 529 lacked. We are finally addressing private employment provisions, which I felt that 529 lacked. The fact is, we have this problem because our businesses are hiring illegal immigrants. You see it with the quotes that are sitting on your desk. Last night, 2 legislators I admire spoke about zero-based budgeting. One said to the other, whatever you do with this bill, keep it real. And I tell you that that is what we face with this topic. Not just this bill, but this topic, because this is our second attempt. Until we address America's need for hardworking, responsible labor and demand that businesses hire legal labor, we will not completely solve this problem. Now, D.A. King, who has been an advocate of this issue, was quoted that the purpose of HB87 is that illegal immigrants leave Georgia. Well, I tell you, with this bill, just like 529, they will leave. But they're not going to go back to their countries. They're going to go to Alabama. They're going to go to Tennessee. They're going to go to Florida. And whatever states right now will hire them. Why? Because the conditions in their countries compel them to stay and to come. I was at a pastor's conference in Mexico City quite a few years ago, and there I found out how their police force treat their own citizens, where you are pulled over at night and abused and maybe even beat up by your own police force who wants to steal your wallet. That's not conditions that any civilization can grow and prosper. And so therefore they are compelled to feed their children and to feed their families to cross the border, even if it means illegally. There's where our problem lies. I had a message sitting on my desk yesterday from a Vivian from District 21. She told me, vote for HB87 because Americans want their borders closed. Vivian, I'm sorry to tell you that HB87 is not going to do that. But that is the problem. What we are doing with HB87 is sending a message to President Obama to secure our borders, to our congressional members to make real comprehensive immigration reform. It is time for our federal government to do so. I see the light here on telling me my time is up, but I want to finish real quickly with just two stories. There's a couple that were married in 1999, and during the New Year's Eve, they were driving, and they were hit in the back from a drunk driver who was illegally in this country. Their mother was in the back seat, the couple was in the front seat. The accident was terrible. Thank God nothing happened to them. There's another couple that were on their way to the 7th District Convention in 2003. They were expecting their first child. They were also hit in the back from an illegal immigrant who was here driving. You know who that couple was? That was me in both instances. God protected my family in those instances. And so I tell you that we have to support HB87. I understand both sides, but it's time to protect our citizens if the federal government will not do so. But do not think our work is done. We need comprehensive immigration reform. Mr. Speaker, thank you. I yield the well.